Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Michaela, and this is Becoming Better. February is a time that I love simply because there's so much love in the walls. Everybody's walking around in love. It's one of my favorite times to be alive. And I'm here because at one time, I thought love was a feeling, and I was searching for that feeling relentlessly until I learned that love is an action, love is a skill, and love is something that you actually learn. If you chalk love up to a feeling, you'll always be searching for something that you can't find. You'll be looking everywhere. You'll turn blue in the face before you find it. You can learn how to love. You can be disciplined enough to turn yourself into a love, and that's kind of what I did. I wanted love so badly that I actually just turned into love myself. I loved myself. I started to learn how to love the people around me, and that's how I got here. Maybe you've only realized that you only feel alive when somebody loves you, that you've confused butterflies with chemistry and chemistry with compatibility, or that you've thought anxiety is excitement because calm feels boring and calm feels unfamiliar. I've been there too. Maybe you felt like you need constant reassurance to feel secure, wanting the idea more than the reality. Or maybe you've thought, maybe if I try harder, then they'll actually see me. That one, I lost myself. If you've thought any of these things, I promise you, you're not alone. I myself have mistaken intensity for intimacy. I thought I had butterflies when really I just had anxiety. And I realized that I was addicted to all the almosts, not the wholeness of it all. People say love starts with you, and that's absolutely true. But what are the parts of love that give you the skill to actually start loving yourself? I read a book called The Art of Loving by Erich Fromm, and that book really shows us that we are so obsessed with being loved that we don't really learn how to love people. Learning how to love requires care, responsibility, respect, and knowledge. Care meaning you have an active concern for somebody's growth. Responsibility meaning responding and not rescuing. Respect meaning we love someone for who they are and not necessarily what we want them to be. That falling in love with potential gets you killed. You know that, I know that. And I lost myself completely in that I want this person to be this way so that I can love them, not I love them because they are this person. Looking back, it's really disrespectful. And knowledge, meaning understanding each other deeply, not projecting our trauma and thoughts onto them. And you should look at yourself first. Do I have an active concern for my own growth? How do I talk to myself? Do you set yourself up for success? Or do you rush at the last minute trying to get everything together? Do you take accountability for your actions, or do you play the blame game? Do you figure it out for yourself, or are you always and forever throwing yourself a pity party? Are you committed to learning and understanding yourself deeply? These questions are where I started to realize I didn't love myself like I thought I did. I loved pieces of myself, but I didn't love the whole form of who I show up as. The way I talked to myself was extremely negative, and you could see that through the external relationships that I showed up in. I wasn't treating people like I loved them. I wasn't treating myself like I loved myself, so how was I going to treat other people like I loved them? Love is intentional. And I intentionally started addressing myself differently. When I wrote in the journal, I didn't just say, hey, I say, hey, angel face, hey, princess. These most ridiculous things, because that is the way that I want to love myself, and that's the way that I want to love other people. And on the flip side, that's also the way that I want to be loved. You have to become what you want to be. I started caring about what I put into my body. I started caring about what I do for myself, what I spend my time doing. Am I doom scrolling? Am I making hobbies? I've started coloring, I sing, I dance, I crochet, I'm trying to. I've been reading a bunch of books and just getting into those hobbies to show myself that I care about myself and that I can spend that time with myself. And I can learn how to love myself, so in turn I can learn how to love other people. Through this process of learning to love myself, I got to know myself on such a deep level. What I want, what I don't want, what I need. And once I started doing that for myself, I saw that reflect in my external connections. I started loving my family better, my friends better. I started making better choices and better decisions that just aligned with the person that I was when I was love. And that was the basis of what changed everything for me. I also changed who I was loving, because I started to realize that the people that I loved weren't treating themselves with the same love that I was treating myself with. And on the flip side, they were treating me with that exact same lack of love that I was originally treating myself with. And you can see the relationship that you have with yourself mirrored in your external connections for this reason, because you will choose things that are familiar. My family growing up, abusive father, not physically, thankfully, but mentally. My mom, God bless her, she was dealing with a lot. She was dealing with my dad, with 3 kids, with a family, with a house, with all the things. And there was just a bit of an emotional unavailability there. And you could totally see that growing up, I kind of chose relationships that reflected those relationships because they were so familiar to me. So I grew up thinking that chaos meant certainty, that anxiousness meant intensity and intimacy, that the lack of vulnerability might have been just vulnerable enough to keep me around. The chances are that the first couple relationships that you choose coming out of those particular places where you have your first relationships with people, they're gonna mirror the exact same thing. However, what you choose to do moving forward, having awareness around it, that is what is really going to propel you into a different place of your life. That's going to make you choose different people, tolerate different things, be in different places at different times, and just show you that you don't have to choose the same thing that you grew up choosing. Because it can be scary to change, to be calm for once, and to shift your nervous system into a place of calmness and rest and digest, as opposed to being in fight or flight. But what's on the other side of that, the calm nervous system, is where I've gotten a lot of my creativity from. It's where I've gotten a lot of my inspiration and my aspiration and motivation and discipline, because I know that being calm moves you forward. Being in that constant state of flight or flight, and I talked about this before, but when you're rushing and all the things, your cortisol gets high, your blood pressure goes up, you're sweating, you're nauseous, all the things, and there's no way for you to create from a place like that. So why surround yourself with people who are gonna make you feel like that and lessen your ability to be creative and be inspired? You're always gonna just think, I need to survive. That's all you're gonna have in your brain at any point. I just need to survive, I need to survive, I need to survive. So you don't eat properly, you don't sleep properly, you don't take care of yourself, you don't do the things you love because you don't have time, because you're always surviving. Love is not survival. Love is safe. Love is expansive. It gives you that space to be exactly who you are. I knew I had to start choosing differently. Last year I just got to a place in my life where I was like, I'm not tolerating this anymore. I don't have to, and I'm not going to. And people will try to scare you. You'll never find a love like this. You'll never find a friend like me. You'll never be okay. I promise you, you'll be just fine. Because on the other side, once I regulated my nervous system, I learned, like, fuck, I can be creative. I can love people in the exact way that I want to love them, and people can love me in the exact way that I want to be loved. Your reality is what you make it. How you feel about it, how you think about it. If you think love is hard, I'm never gonna find somebody to love me, and I'm never gonna be able to love somebody, you're damn right you won't, because you have to believe it in order to see it, and in order to cultivate it, to actually do it, to bring it to manifestation, to see it, to be in a place where you can actually use what you've learned and the skills that you've learned. Be careful who feels like home when home isn't a good place. Love isn't gonna make you feel like it's not a good place. Love is also always gonna make you feel like you're home, and that home is safe, and that you can sing and dance and run and be your weirdest, truest self. Love holds you no matter what. There's not going to be any times where affection is withheld, the silent treatment is placed, we're going to bed angry. There's not going to be any arguments about who's cooking dinner. And trust me, there are going to be points where you and the person that you love, whether it be a friend, a partner, a coworker, you're always gonna butt heads. Not always, but there are gonna be times where you guys are gonna butt heads. You guys are different people. We're all different people. But the fact of the matter is that there's that safety net to know that this is never gonna go too far. There's never gonna be a harshness. And if there is, I pray you cut it out or cut it off. There is a man named Terry Real, and he was on Mel Robbins' podcast, and he said there's no redeemable value in being harsh. It does nothing for you, it does nothing for anybody else that you're harsh towards. And I posted this on TikTok today, and a man, of course, commented and said, I don't believe that. I believe that harshness is required when people don't listen. And I was like, no. Firmness and being stern and letting somebody know you're serious are totally necessary sometimes, but being cruel and unkind is not. There's no redeemable value in harshness whatsoever. Nothing. You don't have to be harsh, and you don't have to take that either. And I just learned that this year. Who would have thought? The moment that somebody's hurting you and you stay, that pain becomes yours to carry. You don't have to carry that. You have boundaries, you set them in place. Boundaries are a form of self-love. Use them and use them wisely. Put them down and put them down hard and stand 10 toes. Because there are billions of people in this world. Why are you gonna get this mistreatment from one person when you could be treated like gold from the next? Please treat yourself with the respect that you deserve and show yourself that you respect yourself by choosing the people that love you and show you that the first time, and not with the person that, oh, I slipped up. No. We're grown adults. We all make mistakes, absolutely, and we can have conversations for sure, constructive ones, but there's nothing that's gonna be destructive around me. And if you keep commenting on my character and you're harsh and we're having fights all the time and you beg for it to be your way, you can't see my way, you're gonna cut me off at every instance that I do something wrong or make a mistake, and I'm not doing that to you, that's a relationship that I don't think has love at the basis of it. There may be a fabricated version of love on top of that, but real love doesn't make you feel small. It's a hard pill to swallow. It was a hard pill for me to swallow for so many years. Love does not dim your light so they can shine brighter, just so that they can exist. The right people will be able to illuminate your light and make it shine brighter. You'll be able to do the same thing for those other people. So if you feel like you haven't found your people yet, don't worry, you will. If you're listening to this thinking, oh my God, is she talking right to me? Yeah, I might be. But at the end of the day, what we need to do is realize that there are parts to grow from, and that's one of the most pretty, exciting processes and journeys that there are, and it's a journey to fall in love with, because I can choose differently. I don't have to be yelled at all the time. I don't have to be in the room when people are throwing things. I don't have to feel like the silent treatment is given to me or like affection is being withheld from me. I don't have to feel like that, so I won't. We make decisions and we make choices that reflect that higher version of ourselves, the person that we want to be. Do we see ourselves being surrounded by these people when we're pregnant and when we're having babies and when we're postpartum? Like, who's gonna hold you? Are these people going to make you a plate of food and say, I just want to check in? Or are these people gonna say, you haven't spoken to me in 5 weeks and you're deep in postpartum depression? What are these people gonna do? And that comes with the choices of like knowing that your life is so short and we're all gonna die one day. I'm not going to waste my time with people who are gonna make me feel small and make me feel like they don't understand. Most of us weren't taught how to practice love. We think love is attachment, we think it's control, we think it's trauma bonding, and we love people because we fear being alone. Love is none of those things. Love is not attachment, love is not control, love is not fearing to be alone, so we're just gonna be with that person. Love is not trauma bonding. Love is honest, commitment, loyalty, calm, love is safe. And I've learned a lot of what love is by loving myself and giving myself what I need when I need it. And getting my heart broken in the same vein, like I'm sure I've broken a couple hearts too, but heartbreak is formative. It's not shameful. Everybody's gonna get their heart broken at one time. Somebody's gonna die, somebody's gonna leave somebody, whatever the case is. It's not, you can't tell me that there's one time you've gotten your heart broken and you haven't became somebody so much better unless you're literally sitting in it. And that is not loving yourself either. You should love yourself enough to pick yourself up and be like, okay, well, let them leave, let me leave, let me figure it out. One of my dear people who I used to talk to a long time ago, she told me, you know what? I'm gonna flip the table and set my life in flames and figure it the hell out. And I took that advice and I did it, and I'm here now and I'm so happy that I did it because I loved myself enough to choose. Love is expansive, which is why most people say, you make me want to be a better person, because the safety allows feelings of wanting to show up, and not only wanting to show up, like wanting to show out, wanting to be that partner, be that mother, be that father, be that friend, that sibling, and create a space where love is so fluid and exchanged that it's just this ever-flowing current of action because we never put it down. Safety allows you the feeling of wanting to show up as a more refined version of yourself. And with safe love, whether that be from yourself, from a friend, or your partner, it just allows you to create new things because you're not living in that survival mode again. So you don't have to focus on surviving, you can focus on expanding. What do I want to do with my Friday nights? I swear, the first time I got to lay in a bathtub in like a year and a half. And I'm doing it all the time because that's what I want. That's what I need. And because I love myself, I will give that to myself, but I also don't hear someone in my ear, where have you been? You're always in the bathtub. You're always thinking about yourself. No, I'm with a man who can sit with himself as well and give himself what he needs. Not only that, but run the bathtub for me. Put the bubbles in and say, you know what, babe, you've had a long day, you've had a long week, you've had a long month, you've had a long year. Sit in the bathtub for 45 minutes, you deserve it. And in fact, take your noodles in there with you, with your beverage, because I know that that's what you'd like to do. Take your phone, watch a movie, scroll on TikTok, I don't care. I'll make dinner tonight. The amount of times that life has been made easier just because of a simple decision that I made to do this. Let me tell you. About 4.5 years ago, somebody came into my life that like I thought had fallen off the face of the earth and was gone forever. This relationship started as a situationship, like a friends with benefits, turned into a situationship. Obviously, you're sharing intimacy with somebody. You're like, we shouldn't just be sharing intimacy as like friends, like we should like be together, right? And it caused all this anxiety in me that he never wanted to commit, and there were just so many times where I had like seen things and God was trying to show me, or the universe was trying to show me like, this is not your person. But I kept going, I believed lies, up into the point where I thought I could love him so much into seeing me that 2 years into it, now we're finally in a relationship. I think we broke up like 7 times in the course of that a year and a half that we were together. And it just got to a point where things were thrown, too many breakups, move here, move there, move in, move out. That's not love. That was a fabricated version. I thought chaos was familiar to me, and it was at that time. Chaos was that familiarity that I was looking for. It was that intensity that I confused with intimacy. It was the anger that I confused with passion. It was the anger that I confused with love. It was the control that I confused with like adoration. It was crazy. And then you see, personally I see, looking over a shoulder, Hinge and Tinder on the phone. And I sit there and I say, I have more self-respect for myself than this. So why did I stay? Because I was scared of being alone, and these are all the things that love is not. It got to a point where the straw that kind of broke the camel's back, like I went wedding dress shopping, and I'm very like spiritual, and I'm very like metaphorical and theoretical, I don't know if that's the word. I use signs and I take things to see other things. Went wedding dress shopping. My friends at the end of it said, could you see, like, did you think of that guy? Could you see yourself? And I was like, no, I didn't, and that was my sign. So that night I went home and I said, where are you? He had my car. And he's like, I'm with my friends. And I was like, okay, cool, when are you coming home? And he said to me, you're disrespecting my time with my friends. Basically, leave me alone. So I said, okay, bet. And that was the day that I decided to respect myself and love myself so much that my love outweighed any feeling that I was about to feel from breaking up with this man. Of course, I wasn't perfect, and obviously it's gonna break your heart. It's gonna break the other person's heart, but my final act of love was letting go. For him and for me. Because at the end of the day, I realized that I was never gonna live the life that I wanted to live, being in this place that I felt like I always had to survive in. I knew that I was gonna love in a different place, in a different space, and manifestation works. I manifested for like a year that I wanted to live in an apartment, and me and my boyfriend are living in an apartment loving each other and learning those things together. And it's just like a testimony to the fact that everything can change once you make the right decision for yourself. I think love is so many different things now. Love is not chaotic or angry. Anger disguised as passion, or like, you're never gonna find someone to love you like I did. Bullshit. Love is expansive. Love will expand you, and if you love yourself, you will find that expansion beyond you, always. So I promise you, if you're listening to me and you're like, fuck, like, this girl is saying a bunch of things that I've been in and where I've gone or where I'm trying to move forward from, you will do it. The first thing is having an intention that you do want to do that. To this day, you might have thought love was something that it's not. You might have thought love was a spark, and now you know it's actually a practice. You might have thought it a fantasy, but you know it's actually a choice. You might have said love is a feeling, and now you know it's a conscious action. You might have thought love was something you find, and now you know it's something you build and capitalize on. You won't have anxiety, an obsession. You won't have these drastic highs and lows. You won't have to be chosen at the cost of paying yourself. You won't need anybody to complete you. Not a friend, not a partner, not a colleague, not a boss, not a place, not a thing. You will be complete in yourself. You will show up whole, and anything that comes thereafter will be a bonus to you. Love is so safe. It's mutual growth, it's presence, it's loyalty, it's consistency, it's respect for your autonomy and theirs. It's accountability without punishment. Love is freedom, and you deserve to be free. When I think of all the things that love has given me throughout my life, whether it be something that was diminishing at some point but then turned into something that totally grew me, or it was something that took things away from me, but it was actually putting things in place that I could move forward from towards. When I think about love in its truest form, you know that it's a practice, it's something you need to learn, it's something you need to learn how to do yourself, because we weren't taught how to do that. There's no course in school that's like, what is love and how do I love myself? I just don't want you to get confused with the fact that love could be this big magical thing, but it most of the times is so calm and so patient and so consistent that you may look at it and be like, it was there the whole entire time. Because it has been. It's been inside you. Remember that. Love is not going to give you a negative feeling. Love is not going to make you feel small. Love is definitely not going to physically or mentally abuse you and make you feel like you're nothing. That's not love. That's, I need to create some type of addictive cycle in you to make you keep coming back to me. But once you break the cycle, you feel like you can breathe and you feel so much better. So if you are needing support, reach out to me, your friends, anybody, get the help you need. Find the numbers on the internet. If you can't do that, call somebody, they'll find the numbers for you. If you can't do that, I'll include them below. But love is patient, love is kind, love doesn't envy. It has trust, it has communication, it builds your skills, it refines you as a person. You want to multiply it. Love is freedom, and you totally deserve to be free. This February, I'm redefining love. I'm not only redefining love for myself, I'm helping you redefine love for you. With that being said, thanks for listening to Becoming Better and tuning in. I'm your host, Michaela, and I'll see you next time.